Okay, so hear me out here. So usually I post maybe like at most 2 videos a week. But just in case, I don't think that's too clear. But in case you didn't get the news, apparently Doc Rivers is going to be the next 76ers head coach. And right now I'm going to tell you how I feel about that. But before you watch the video, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to follow me on Instagram. That will all be in this little intro right here because those are really long Instagram names that I probably am not willing to explain. I also have a website called onthemiclive.com. There are 2 really intriguing articles, one about Michael Jordan, the Michael Jordan LeBron debate to be exact, because I have that debate practically every day. But yeah, go check that website out, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, well, first, there are a couple things that are truths while at the same time myths about Doc Rivers. The myth about Doc Rivers, people should not treat him as if he's a bad coach, because in the Los Angeles Clippers era, he has not had one losing season. Like, his worst season, he went 42-40, which was last season, and then even took the Warriors to 6 games in the playoffs. Yeah, that's the season I'm talking about right there. That was his worst season. All other than that, he's basically had 50 wins every season. He's won over 900 games as a coach in his career and has only lost like 600. So this guy has like a 58% career win percentage. This guy, he's a really good coach. So barring what happened this year, he's been pretty consistent in the playoffs. But yeah, this year didn't make him look too good. But I mean, did you really think a coach with 900 wins was going to go into the NBA next season without a job? Like, how long did you think Doc Rivers was not going to have a job? Anyways, maybe going a little deeper into Doc Rivers' career, he did start with the Magic, you know. His most famous years are probably the ones with Boston, especially in 2009, 2010, 2008, and 2011s, where they were championship contenders that all ended, of course, when LeBron came to Miami. And, well, yeah, let's just say he formed his own super team. And for Boston fans, that wasn't quite the best news. But the thing about this signing, I don't think it was quite the right coach. I think they should have gone with somebody like Jason Kidd. And hear me out right here, because Jason Kidd, I don't know if Doc Rivers can quite maximize the opportunity in the offense, because first, what we saw this year, he had 2 of the best stars in the league and didn't get past the second round. So we don't know how he's going to do with other, I'm not going to say worse stars, but Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are not, like, they're way better than of course Ben Simmons, and maybe better than Joel Embiid, just because Joel Embiid is injured. But anyways, those guys aren't, Embiid and Simmons aren't at the level that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are at. So that's one thing that maybe you should look forward. That's one thing that's a little iffy. Super iffy about him. I don't know how he's going to perform with that much talent on his team. He showed me this year that he couldn't quite do it, but who knows? Maybe that'll change. Maybe that won't. He only has 1 championship to his name, 900 wins. So only time will tell with that factor. The next little factor about Doc Rivers, I don't know if he can maximize the talent of Ben Simmons. I think somebody like Jason Kidd, who actually played the game as a taller, but at the same time maybe a little bit slower point guard, they wanted him to play, because there weren't 6'5" point guards back in the 90s when he was playing for the Nets. That's how he got the most out of Giannis. That's how Giannis is 6'11", dribbling the ball up the court and dunking on people, because he was taught by none other than Jason Kidd, who was sort of considered a unicorn back then himself. Somebody who was 6'5", could handle the ball, could get to the basket with seemingly ease. What he had to do was develop a jump shot. And if he goes and teaches another point guard, or at least a guy who wants to be a point guard, I personally think he should play small forward, but another point guard / point forward, the same things. Teach him how he can use his height and weight to his advantage. Teach him how to develop really a significant jump shot, because that's the only chance I think Ben Simmons has of being point guard. I think he has to develop a respectable jump shot at least, because it seems like he has no confidence in it at times. It seems like he just does not want to take the shot. But yeah, that's another reason. And another thing, he's never had the world's greatest center. So that's going to be kind of a project for him. I don't remember Doc Rivers having, other than Dwight Howard, I don't remember him having a crazy, amazing center. Because Kevin Garnett was good, but Kevin Garnett played a little bit of power forward. Plus, he was not in his prime. He wasn't an amazing center. He was just a good one. He was somebody that was on the edge of his prime. He was a little... Yeah, he wasn't quite Dwight Howard level. Dwight Howard was really good back in those times, and that's why he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Then DeAndre Jordan, part of that Lob City crew. I really did like DeAndre Jordan, but I'm sorry, DeAndre Jordan was not a top center in the league, nor will he ever will be. But yeah, that's basically the point. I don't know how he's going to respond to having a for real top tier center, because Joel Embiid, when healthy, I think is better than a younger Dwight Howard. And I'm just going to say it right now. A younger Dwight Howard was really, really good. And it's kind of bold saying that he was better than a younger Dwight Howard now that I think about it. But Dwight Howard couldn't shoot. Dwight Howard couldn't quite pass the ball like Embiid. Dwight Howard definitely didn't score like Embiid did, because Embiid can score 30 points and get 15 rebounds a night. Dwight Howard cannot do that. Dwight Howard his game was built more around the defense. So a more all around and super skilled Hakeem Olajuwon-ish type center. I don't know how Doc Rivers is going to respond to that, but once again, only time will tell. Now, some of the good about Doc Rivers, because I have gone, I've been like every single other fan, completely bashing him for getting eliminated in the second round after he had a 3-1 lead against a young Nuggets team that was actually really good. That Nuggets team was really decent. I thought they would have got the Lakers to at least like 6 games, but it took 5 because LeBron is LeBron, AD is AD, and yeah. But anyways, back to the point. I want to talk about some of the good in Doc Rivers. Now, the thing about Doc Rivers is the dude barely has any losing seasons. It seems like every single team he goes to, he makes them better. Like, think of the Clippers before Doc Rivers. They weren't good. I'm just going to straight up say it. The Clippers were not good before Doc Rivers. They were just that random team in LA that stood second to the Los Angeles Lakers every single year. It was just, it was crazy, because it was just like they just weren't a good team. He goes, and then they all of a sudden become Lob City. You get Chris Paul, you get all these other players surrounding him. Of course, you draft Blake Griffin. Then you have DeAndre Jordan, who was already there, I believe. Yeah, that's one thing. He's always made every team he's went to better. Will he do that with the 76ers? I hope so, because for them to lose in the first round of the playoffs, even with the injury to their second best player, it's still kind of ridiculous. It's still kind of shameful that they did lose in the first round. But at the same time, I feel like Doc Rivers could possibly manage that level of talent well. I think it's a different level of talent in LA, because in LA you had 2 perimeter guys. Now you have one guy in the post and another guy who scores most of his points in a more Giannis type factor, a guy who drives to the basket and scores a lot of his points like that. But again, maybe he can make Ben Simmons into a true point guard. Give him a little jump shot, make him more confident. Maybe he can do that, but once again, I don't know. The only great point guard he's had 2 really great point guards, actually. He had Rajon Rondo in his prime, and he had Chris Paul in his prime. So, yeah, maybe he could do that for Ben Simmons. I don't know. Maybe he can make him into one of the better point guards in the league. But it's really not a lot to say, because I knew that the 76ers were going to get a new coach. I knew that he was going to be out of LA. After that second round loss, it was just unexcusable. It was like, how do you have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and you're losing in the second round? Like, Paul George with the Pacers took took the Heat to 6 games in the Eastern Conference Finals, and you're telling me that you can have him and another greatest player in the NBA right now, Kawhi Leonard, and lose in the second round. That didn't add up to me. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into this, and really we won't know until it actually happens, until things actually take place. But my predicted record for them, I think they're gonna win 50 games. First, anywhere between first and fourth in the Eastern Conference, because the Eastern Conference it's kind of stacked, it's kind of full. You have the Hawks that have put together a pretty good team. You have the Pacers, who are always solid every season. You have, of course, the Bucks, who have that freak named Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have, man, it's just so many teams. The Bulls have a solid young team surrounded with pieces with Zach LaVine, who is a 20-point per game scorer. It's a lot of threats in the East, and the East is a very different game of basketball than the West is. So again, I don't quite know. None of us will quite know what will happen, but I would say that the 76ers do get better. I think they have more playoff success this season, and I think it's going to end up being a very great hiring. Again, it's going to be a timely manner thing. But yeah, Doc Rivers, he's a great coach. I trust him. I would trust him if I were the management staff up there in Philadelphia. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. So anyways, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It would mean a lot. This video is probably going to go up today. As a matter of fact, it is going to go up today because, this is the news today. And maybe later today or tomorrow, I'm going to have a small analysis on what each team needs to do in the finals. So stay tuned for that. I'm also having a Lonzo Ball video that's, LaMelo Ball, draft video that's going to come out. So stay tuned for those 2 videos. I really appreciate you viewing this video. Again, please like and subscribe, spread it to all your friends. I'm basically on the grind at this point, but thank you for watching, and I will catch you next episode.